Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Our today's topic is general elections in Pakistan and its impact upon Afghanistan. The historic event of 25th July, the general elections in Pakistan, are called by some people not as elections but selections. And the questions are arising, will Imran Khan make the government or not? And if Imran Khan does make the government, what will be its impact upon Afghanistan's foreign policy and the regional peace throughout? For that, in the studios we have today is Osama Khursheed Khan, who is a defense analyst. Osama, these elections which have taken place, there are a lot of rumors and questions. Will Imran Khan will be able to make the government, yes or no?
You must have to understand the international contours behind that, because if you want to get to know about the domestic things, you must have to understand the international contours. Afghanistan President Ashraf Ghani called Imran Khan and congratulate him because it's a basic protocol. Then the Narendra Modi called him, then the Saudi ambassador, and then the Chinese ambassador. So these are the basic protocols that if someone is making a government, he's already been selected to bring a government, and there's no doubt about that. What the problem is that if he is making a government with a 2/3 majority, or he is having a simple majority of 137 seats, that's a worrisome problem right now at the moment for the state of Pakistan.
But the Pakistan's problem right now is much more than that, because even if the government is made, the question which lies around is how the regional stability will be there, and most importantly is the Afghanistan point in that. So the Afghanistan, Ashraf Ghani has said that agreed to overcome and the past and to lay a new foundation and prosperous social economic future for both. So does that mean there will be a new chapter in the history of Afghanistan and Pakistan relationship?
Let me tell you that being as a defense analyst, the policies would not change by the government, because you must understand the concept of a state within the state who are running the establishment, what we call a pure sum language and establishment.
Are you mentioning Pakistan or Afghanistan here?
No, I'm actually mentioning in the Pakistan, and it's running all over the world, because establishment is within the country, it's within the region, and then it's called as an international establishment. So let me tell you that the policy will be run by the establishment, and it will be the same policy. Imran Khan will be just like a cog in a wheel, and the instruction will be pulled.
Imran Khan is just a face on this front?
You must have to understand that it's not a face merely. He must have his inputs in the policy making, but again the strings will be pulled by the same statements which are running the state already.
If that is the statement, Osama, you're talking about the establishment is we're working upon it, and establishment is still going to pull the strings now.
Hang on, you just took me wrong that I am talking about the establishment is pulling the strings. I'm just about to talk that, making the point that the policy is always made by the establishment. So do not quote me wrong.
So I'm borrowing vocabulary from your own mouth, the state in a state policy, state in a state, state within a state, as you were saying. How do you see that there will be elections inside Afghanistan and there will be a new government forming? So what exactly, first I need to know the contours of the government which might be forming over there, since there is a state in a state running inside Afghanistan.
Okay, let me tell you that there are the basic major stakeholders sitting in Afghanistan, and Afghanistan has planned to do the elections, and these elections are not the presidential elections, these are the parliamentary elections, and for the first time they are going for the district elections too. So it will not impact the major policies on the region, because it's not the presidential election, so the power lies within the president's hand.
But still there were many other contours, and there are many factions, which are small factions who might group together and can form a bigger party compared to the government.
If they might be forming a bigger party, then they must have to recognize the Taliban, but Taliban are not in the position.
But Taliban as a recognized party as essentially right now.
No, they are a recognized party, but they are not the political party at the moment. They did not accept the favor being asked by the Afghan government, then please take the negotiations on the table, come on the table and negotiate and get the political rights, and they have just not get those points.
The days might not be far away that there might be getting a political wing also, a bit political rights also, because if you talk about that, the Taliban has not given the political rights right now. US is very desperate to talk about it, and US government seems very desperate, means that Afghan government is very much sure about that there will be concessions given to the Taliban, and the concessions might be political.
Then you must have to understand, Sidra, that why US is offering them after the 17 years of the war, why they are asking now them to come into the political arena. The point is that according to the BBC study, the 70% of the Afghanistan has been controlled by the Afghan Taliban and the ISIS. So right now Afghanistan's government must have to negotiate with the Taliban to give them the political eligibility, give them
this point thing you're talking about, that there is a faction distribution of Afghanistan inside and out, that means there will be an impact upon the elections you're talking about.
Obviously, the elections are very volatile. Let me quote the Deputy Speaker of the Afghan Parliament. He quoted that 40% of the areas are volatile for the voting, and there are only 8 billion. The recent statistics is that 8 billion people have been registered for the voting, whereas the total population of Afghanistan is 32 million.
So that means there will be a regional impact upon it, sir?
Obviously, it will be a very regional impact on the Afghanistan.
So how do you compare the two elections going on, one side by side having a Pakistan forming a new government, and what would be the contours of the new government which might fight or which might be born inside Afghanistan?
You must have to analyze the speech of Imran Khan, because he said that we want an open border with Afghanistan. But let me clarify you that what's your defense forces wants. They want to seal the whole border, and by the end of 2018, they are sealing the border. Same line has been pegged by the Imran Khan, and he said that we want to actually, before when he was not forming the government, he wanted that we want to establish a good relation with Afghanistan, but sealing the fences, sealing the border is a good step for the Pakistan. That has been the punchline by the Imran Khan political party and all the other members. So now the recent twist made by him in the foreign policy, that he said that we want to have open borders, that will be a very bumpy road for him with the establishment and the military politics and the military circle.
That's a very good point. We'll take it from there. So, Osama, we were talking about the twist there might be in the establishment and the Imran Khan statement, because since the Imran Khan statement was before that, we might have a closed border, and now he has actually taken a U-turn about that. How will establishment react towards such a concept?
Basically, Imran must have to bend down, because you cannot change the state politics, you cannot change the state policies which is going on for the decade, because it took Pakistan 70 years to seal the whole Durand line, and by the end of 2018, Pakistan military, Pakistan army will seal the whole border. So Imran Khan must have to rethink what he has just said, or maybe he will.
Giving Imran Khan such a position that he has just taken and then doing just the opposite the establishment might do, so there might be a fault or a crack between the Afghanistan-Pakistan relationship again?
No, it's not about that. It's all about that how you explain the things, because meanwhile when there were the sit-ins going on Islamabad, Imran was like that the Third Empire will raise in finger, and after that, and after the 2018 elections, he said that I was referring to the God Almighty, that he was the third finger. So we all know that he was referring to. So talking towards the open border and the closed border, he might said that what he wants to actually say that open border means that the whole border will be closed and there will be just visa trespassing over there.
Does it matter to have an open and a closed border? How much impact does it give?
It does impact, because if you take all of the terror attacks that has been placed on the Pakistani soil, you can find the blueprints being extracted from the Afghanistan. The whole militancy, the whole terrorism has been coming from the Afghanistan. You must have to seal the borders for the greater purpose. You must have to do it, and Pakistan military has already established at the fences on the borders, and it will seal by the end of 2018.
But can you exactly elaborate what characteristics does Afghanistan government have that do not let Pakistan seal the border?
We have seen the skirmishes going on in 2016 and 17 when there was a fight on the Torkham. What we have seen, there was a military exchange of fires, and we have seen that we lost 3 to 4 soldiers. So it's a synonymly discourse which has been generated by the Afghanistan that we are not accepting the Durand line. So Pakistan done a very good thing. Pakistan start fencing on their own soil. They did not touched the Durand line, and by the end of 2018, the Pakistan is just fencing the whole side of Pakistan on the Pakistani soil. They are not disturbing the Afghanistan. So in this regard, it will manage the whole border management, because belonging that to the border management, it's very essential to make Pakistan a very peaceful and prosperous country.
If Pakistan is containing itself and actually bordering its fences and make itself a very prosperous country, do you think what impact or what changes will be there inside Afghanistan?
The changes in Afghanistan would be
knowing that we
actually shared a very fabric of the cultural fabric. We actually shared the social fabric with Afghanistan.
So we are trying to cut it off?
No, we are not trying to cut it off. What exactly mean by the border management is not that we are not dividing the people of Afghanistan and Pakistan, but what we want to fence, we want to secure ourselves, because survival is the first priority. If you're not survived, if you're not safe, because living by the standards is not a problem, but the survival of the living is a problem. So if you survived, you can fabricate again a new rupture. The ruptured part you can again fabricate it. But if you cannot survive, because if there is a militancy on your borders, you cannot go with anything beyond that.
But there's a decrease in militancy if seen by the statistics.
If you are referring to the statistics of 2014, 13, if you go with the 2008, 9, 10, yes, there was a rise. Then there's a demise of the terrorist attack. It's all because you are.
There has just been a terror wave. We accept that, but that has only been directly related to the Nawaz Sharif presence and the going to the ideology and all. But that does not mean that there will be militancy.
I'm very skeptical about that statement that Nawaz Sharif is going to Adiala and that there is a terrorist attack going on. It's never about that. look, the international establishment, yes, they have the stakes in Pakistan. The Pakistani establishment, obviously, they have the stakes in Pakistan. But this political arena, the hiccups coming in the political arena, they do not impact on the security situation. Apart from that, the terrorist elements, the regional establishment, which is sitting like you are a sandwich between the Afghanistan and India. They have the RAW, they have the NDS. What they
With
want
that,
to.
I have to take. I'm sorry, Osama, I have to continue from that position. Sama, you were talking about the being sandwiched, Pakistan being sandwiched
with the Afghanistan and the India on side, and the RAW and the NDS is working. So what the era we are living in, it's unconventional warfare. There's a very famous theory given by the Condoleezza Rice, the creative chaos theory, what they did in Iraq. Same is happening in the Afghanistan, same is happening in the Pakistan. Whenever Pakistan is having any bumpy road or Pakistan is having any hiccup in the political arena, they used to exploit it. They used to get out with their ulterior motives and react. So that's
if there's a hiccup going on and the new elections are coming up, what combination do you see with each other?
What I am seeing, what I am worried about exactly about the government of Pakistan, because being right now Imran Khan is having only 115 seats, and in its opposition there are 108 seats only with the PMLN and People's Party. So what if Imran Khan would be stretched by the 164 seats, having all the reserved seats, having all the independent candidates, but he is not getting the majority of 173? That is the biggest problem.
But all your comments become nil when you talk about that the policy is still being made by establishment.
Exactly. But what if, now you have to understand that, what if after an year the vote of no confidence bring by the People's Party, Mr. Zardari and the Nawaz Sharif, the whole government will be fall. And what will be the next step? The next step will be the martial law. So your establishment, so-called army, will be engaged again.
So you are giving a very small hint or maybe a small point towards it that there might be a martial law.
We'll have to see, because we have to, because
that's Pakistan, a very bold statement to make.
Pakistan
honestly.
is a very unpredictable place. Let me tell you that Pakistan is a very unpredictable place. The man who is actually going to be the Prime Minister of Pakistan, he was having very straight remarks towards the Pakistan army. But now these days, what he has been labeled as a blue-eyed boy of the establishment by the Pakistan army. So I'm very open on it, and I'm categorically saying that if in 1 year, if he would not deliver, his government will be toppled, and the Pakistan army have to engage on the two fronts, one within the city, one in the state, and one outside the state. So it will again impact the relations with Afghanistan.
All right. With that, Osama, do you have any closing remarks for Imran Khan and specifically his policies toward Afghanistan?
Again, he's having a very good right hand, who's about to have as a foreign minister, Khursheed. And what I want to say to Imran Khan, that as he said that he wants to get an open borders, do not let the borders open with Afghanistan. Try to compensate, do not deliver such things in your first speech, which you cannot prolong. Now let me close it with a very good thing, that he actually shunned People's Party. But what if People's Party would come and sit with him in the parliament? Won't you think that they will be making a good movement? So apart from that, Afghanistan, if you want to write a peace with Afghanistan, you must have to come and go with the things being portrayed by your state organs, state institutions. That's the only way forward for the Pakistan and Afghanistan.
Thank you so much, Osama. With this, we'll come to the conclusion of today's session. The outcomes which we gathered today is the Pakistan political parties and the political institutions which Pakistan has right now, they need to come to a consensus to form a very coherent and very comprehensive regional security policy, and specifically with our neighbors Afghanistan. Thank you so much.